Alright, so this is how this Acoustasonic guitar sounds like when I have electric strings now. And I'm plugged into an electric guitar amp just to practice, frontman Fender amp, just really cheap. I think it still sounds pretty good still. So I'm gonna kind of go between the position 1. Alright, so we have the full-on kind of overdrive sound. Now granted, this setting is actually on the amp clean, so if I go to acoustic, it's clean. So let's just give something a try. Here we go. So, I guess that's kind of useful. Like if you wanted to do like sort of like an intro or interlude, like an acoustic setting, and you want to get a little more oomph, I guess you would go to the electric setting and then back to the clean. Obviously this Acoustasonic is definitely kind of like a first iteration, obviously. And I think they have plans in the future to really kind of do stuff with the Acoustasonic or like this, Fishman or technology. Probably in the future, what they'll probably do is try to add, kind of stereo separation. Because I don't see how that could be a hard thing to do. Another thing they might want to try to add is, what's kind of cool about let's talk about the Variax. What's kind of cool with Variax, if you own the Variax and the Helix, you can use them in tandem. And what's kind of cool is you can program to where, in a patch, you can have like a certain guitar model sound plus whatever effects you want, and then like with maybe like one click of a switch, you can go to a different guitar sound, Variax, like with a clean Variax model, or like an acoustic to an electric. I'm not sure how they're gonna do that, Fishman or like Fender, with this kind of thing. Because what I would like to do is kind of like as an acoustic player that also likes to do a little electric, and like say like a lot of worship music, like where you want to do like soloing or like kind of riffing, and then when you want to go into like the singing part, you want to use more cleaner sound. There's no like kind of like nice easy way of doing it right now. You got to kind of like switch back and forth manually. But I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. Maybe somehow, since they're working with Fishman, Fender is working with Fishman, it'd be kind of cool is maybe they can, because they have that technology where they use, I think, MIDI or something like that, where it's sort of like a Variax, and you know what I'm talking about? I think it's called Triple Play or something like that. So I know they have like a Godin guitar that utilizes that, but it'd be kind of cool if somehow they could incorporate that kind of technology into this. It wouldn't be bad. It's just that maybe that's sometime down the future, or maybe not. Maybe that's just not their idea of what they want to be doing. But for me, I think that'd be kind of cool. If somehow they can incorporate that. But that could make the guitar a little too complicated. But for me, I wish they would add one thing where I can kind of change between the electric to the acoustic much more easily. I guess I just have to kind of like get used to that. But I think just plugging into an electric amp sounds good. However, I'll say this: I don't think plugging into electric amp for me is the most ideal way of using this guitar, because if I want true acoustic sounds and electric sounds, what I would rather do is have like an IR pedal plugged into either a mixer or an acoustic amp maybe, or you know, like a PA kind of system. And then like when I want the electric sound, like I'd rather like kind of stomp on like the like an IR, like the impulse response like pedal, like a NuX Solid Studio, you know. And then like after that, if I want to go to acoustic, you know, I would either like turn off the IR, or I would just turn off the cabinet voicing, and then like just keep the power amp section on. And it actually sounds pretty good with the acoustic setting, because I've tried that before in my other video. So it's probably like gonna be like more my ideal setup, instead of plugging necessarily into an acoustic or what do you call it, into electric guitar amp, which sounds okay. I think I'd rather just plug into an acoustic amp or a PA, and then use kind of like effects pedals and that kind of thing. I think that's, for me, that makes much more sense. So, and I'm rambling on, but hope that found that informative. And if you really want to upgrade this guitar, do get the locking tuners. It just makes sense, you know. It's just so much more convenient. No more, you know, wrapping around the post. I really hate that thing, you know. And one thing just be kind of careful of is the bridge pins, okay? They can have some trouble coming out. But I think using these electric guitar strings, they're lighter gauge. I think that they'll have an easier time coming out than, say, you know, using the bronze strings, because they are like a thicker gauge. So I would just recommend just using the electric strings. It sounds plenty acoustic enough, you know. It's just more convenient, in my opinion. Alright, see you.